Excuse me. What's going on, boys? How you doing? What's up, Hamza, Lords, Papa Ganoush, Nils, Ginger, Gravinder, Yash, Hamza, Christian, Turkey? What's going on? Another great day at MSL. You guys know we've been crushing this market for the last couple weeks here. Every day we just been hitting winner after winner after winner. Right now, SPY is banging its head against a very important resistance here. I have 457, 458 as a demand, as a big resistance here. What did I just do? Okay. So you can see intraday, last time we had reached this resistance on February 2nd. We hit it, we got through it, the first point, the 457, so we got into the resistance zone, but after that, we had a huge dump after that. I was screaming this day, 457, 458 SPY is huge. Bless you too, Ginger. Thank you, bro. What's up, Andrew? How you doing? And we completely rejected 458. Big dump off, right? You guys seen what followed. The Bears completely stepped on the gas right here, and they took it all the way down, all the way to around 444. So there's a big drop on SPY after that level last time. We took some days sideways, chopping around, and now we're testing back at those levels. So we're back at, why is those volume bars so big? There we go. So we're right back at those levels. So this is why I was warning you at the end of the day. We have CPI numbers pre-market tomorrow, guys. Very, very important inflation numbers. If inflation is better than it was last month, a lot of people will think that we have peaked in inflation and from here we go down. So very, very important numbers tomorrow morning at 8:30. And let's see. If they're higher than last month, then obviously the market's going to get hit. Most likely the market's going to have a big dip at open, gap down. If the inflation numbers are better than last month, we have a gap up. So that's basically all you have to watch for tomorrow. Make sure you're watching what the numbers are. We'll have the estimates for you in the morning as we always do, 6 a.m. Other than that, that's a key number. That's why I didn't want to hold too much overnight. But let's see tomorrow. Everything is set up for a massive rip in the market. Why do I say that? It's just because what happens usually in these volatile markets is newer traders, they load puts, guys. The newer traders, they start loading puts, and what happens is bears do not have time on their side. If you do not get your flush quickly, your puts lose value quickly, then you have to take off your puts for a loss, which adds more fuel for the bulls. So it's basically if we don't break down quickly like we did here on these days right here, if we just kind of go sideways, bear time is not on a bear's side. So just pay attention to that. There's too many people bearish, like you guys see here. Like we had a huge flush in the market. We crushed puts all the way here, right? When it was time to get here, this is when all the retail and the new traders are buying puts. Market went completely sideways for about 2 weeks, and then they had to all take their puts off because they were losing value or they were too deep in the red. And then all of a sudden, when they start taking their puts off, we have a low volume melt up like this. It happens a lot, guys. So that's just how the market works. That's how volatility works. There's a lot of factors that play into puts. There's Vanna, there's Charm, there's so much stuff, guys. So I don't recommend you guys look into it right now. You'll probably get lost as newer traders. But just pay attention. The longer we go sideways or the longer we grind up, the more bears have to take them off, guys. So SPY right at resistance here. Let's see where we open. It all depends on the inflation number. QQQ is the same story as SPY here. We got a gap up. We held the gap, grinded higher all day. And we're right at a big resistance in QQQ as well, all the way up to 367. So watch 367 on there. XLF was strong all week. Coming into today, it was basically holding SPX up by itself. Today we finally had a little bit of a pullback. This is a toppy candle on XLF. Why do I say that? There's a huge upper wick. We'll go over Disney in a bit, guys. Thank you. XLF, this is a topping candle right here, which means a lot of people are taking profits. I told you guys something, 3 gap ups in a row. I never go long, no matter what the stock is. And it's the 4th gap up in a row on XLF, which is usually the slowest one. So tomorrow I'm going to be looking probably for bank puts if everything plays out. Yields should come down, which means bank puts should work. Tomorrow we're going to be jumping back in bank puts most likely. And we're going to see if we can get a move all the way back down to $40 on XLF. It might not seem like a big move, but a dollar move on XLF is a big thing. Tomorrow, XLF put someone remind me, please. Not XLF specifically, but Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, BAC, JPM, they're going to get some puts. So IWM as well, leading the way up. We saw rotation from tech into IWM and financials. Today, we kind of rotated a little bit back from financials into tech. IWM is at a big resistance here. I have resistance at 207.50, so we have about another dollar move above. Other than that, I mean, that's a pretty big resistance all the way back from March of this year, January of this year. So pay attention to 207.50. See, I even have it written down way back here. 207.50 key level on IWM. If we can't get over there, expect a pullback. SPX, I told you guys 45.20 yesterday. You've seen how solid that zone was. We broke above it, gap. We closed above it yesterday. I told you guys we're probably going to gap up. 45.80 was the level I gave you today. One try, nope. Two try, nope. Third try, we got through. Dumped right back below. Held where we needed to hold at 45.70 given by Boogie. And then we ripped right back up. We could not take out 45.90, which was a little concerning at the end of the day there. There's big sellers there. Let's see if the CPI number is good tomorrow. We should rip right through 45.90 and 4600 tomorrow. I still have 46.20 calls for Friday, guys. Those are almost, I think they're 300%. And I'm planning on holding them. I do think we'll get very close to the money if we do not get it in the money itself. ES, same story as SPX. VIX, I gave you guys a number a bunch of times. So this is what we've been teaching this on post market every single day, guys. What happens is you put in a low, you put in a lower high, then you put in a higher low and a higher high. Then we put in our third higher low right here at $20.50. It tried to bounce, it failed the bounce, it could not set a higher high. Now we're going back down and losing the trend. So the VIX, the bulls no longer have the favor on VIX. Obviously CPI numbers tomorrow can cause a big spike in this if the inflation numbers are really bad. But for right now, the bulls have lost control of the daily uptrend in VIX. And just something to keep an eye on. This one can continue coming down. If we come back down and test the first low, it's even less likely that we have an uptrend in VIX. So volatility is dying off a little bit. The next thing we need to see is yields coming off. So yesterday, huge day in yields. Despite that, growth was ripping. If yields come back down and test this 8-day moving average at about 1.88, the market can absolutely rip. Growth can keep going. Everything can keep going. So keep an eye on yields. Bitcoin just comfortably grinding up. We had one big level I gave you at 43,175-ish. We broke above it. We retested it. And now we're breaking again. So if we get over 45,492, 45,492 on Bitcoin, this one can keep ripping all the way up to 48,000, guys. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. It looks like it's ready to rip. Other than that, we got Apple here. I told you guys earlier, when a stock opens and closes near exactly the same price, didn't really do anything all day. Anyone that was thinking about trading Apple today you didn't get nothing. So the open on Apple today was 176.05. The close was 176.28. Apple moved a grand total of 23 cents today. Why would you focus on Apple, right? Everyone that's asking me about Apple, why would you focus on a stock that moved 23 cents today? Especially with this intraday chart, right? There's nothing here, guys. What were you going to take? Puts, which went from 150 to 160, like you caught 10 cents. There's no point in trading Apple today at all. Google, same story. I mean, you could have caught a little bit of a move on puts and calls, but I mean, overall picture, Google, almost $3,000 stock, guys. We opened at 28.19. We closed at 28.31. It made an $11 move on a $2,800 stock. No point in paying attention to Google today. Nvidia was the one. I gave these $300 calls for March 4th at $1.88 yesterday. Today they were up well over 200%. They closed about 530, 540 or something. So this one, I think I told you guys yesterday could have been the perfect entry. Why did I say that? Clear channel, held the bottom and gapped up and went today. So Nvidia, I'm expecting to go at least 275, 280 before it touches the top of this channel, and then we'll see. The 50-day moving average on Nvidia is 276.25. That's where we have to watch how it reacts. If it reacts well there, we'll continue running up into earnings, and those calls will be $10 before earnings. So we'll have about a 500, 600%er before earnings, in my opinion. SC trade of the week, I got shaken out yesterday because that lady Kathy Woods, my arch nemesis, she bought a bunch of stock, and lately the inverse of Kathy's stock has been paying every single time. This was the one she was wrong on, but you guys all know how to trade. We've taught you how to trade. I called out the one. I told you 156 close on SC should send it over 170, and we got the 170 calls right off this break on Monday. and I think they closed over 150% today. Very easy trade, very straightforward. We put in the low, just like VIX. I was just telling you guys, for all the new people that are in here, we put in the low, we put in a lower high, we put in a higher low, and then we took out this high, which means the bulls are changing the trend back in the favor of the bulls. And now, as long as SE holds above 140, if SE never comes back and tests 140, this is a bullish uptrend, and we're going to watch for the bulls to keep just setting higher lows and higher highs all the way up. So we're just going to put like this. That's what we're looking for on SE, all the way back up, guys. Other than that, great trade. Congrats if you stayed in. I should have stayed in myself, but I crushed everything else, so I'm not really too mad. CRM, we've been talking about this one for weeks, guys. On post market every single day. It's setting up so well. Nancy Pelosi loaded leaps for a reason. She always knows stuff. Setting up this inverse head and shoulders. We've been calling it since this week. Back in January, I said it was setting up inverse head and shoulders. Just wait for it. Yesterday, we jumped in calls at 160. The 250 calls for March. Today, they're up huge. Congrats if you caught it. I think there's a lot of move left, and I think it goes to at least 234 to test the top of this neckline. It wouldn't be 234, it'd be a bit down here, so it'd be around probably 232, 233-ish. By the time it gets to 232, 233, our calls will probably be over 200%, 250%. So keep an eye on that one. Oops, forgot to stop recording. Other than that, I mean, we can see a move all the way to the 50-day real quick. 241 is my target quickly on CRM if you want to hold, and we actually get this play to play out completely into earnings. We might even get like 10 or 15 on these calls. So I'm being patient with that one. Tesla, great scalping. Yash has been crushing Tesla every single day. We have some patterns we're watching. So we had a big daily wedge that we were watching. It broke out today, but that's not the kind of breakout you want to see. Another time frame you need to be watching is the 2 hour here, which is kind of an ascending wedge. It looks kind of bearish, to be honest. We closed just inside of it. Ignore this extended hours. I can take these off. So it looks kind of like a messy chart, but this is the 2 hour ascending wedge we're kind of watching. And 5 minute is where we scalp. We're just watching these little scalps here, guys, off this little support here. Yesterday we scalped it like 6 times on these candles. It was trying to break down. Bears could not break it down, so we were just holding it here. And we scalped every single one of these candles, I think. I think Yash hit every candle. I hit like 5. But Tesla's a great scalping stock if you have a big account. And we'll continue to scalp it. I mean, overall, if the market turns bullish, Tesla has a lot of room to go. It's getting really, really tight. Whenever Tesla gets this tight, as you guys know, like this wedge here, this wedge here, this wedge here, like when it gets really tight, it makes an explosive move one way or the other. So watch for Tesla just to, even if we get like 1-2 more days tight, this thing can explode to the upside. Keep an eye on it. Perry, kind of disappointed. Those earnings were great. The guidance was great. We got a little $24 pre-market, but we never got back up there during the day. Still, the chart looks great. We did test the 50-day again. We held above it. Now let's see if we can start an uptrend on Perry. Other than that, you're all green. Like all your calls are green, all the equities green, so can't really complain too much. Dawkin is one I think crushes earnings, guys. Keep an eye on this one. It's setting up just like SE. I think maybe if we have 1-2 dip days, we can load back into these Dawkin, SEs, all these growth stocks, SQ, all these stocks. If we have 1 day of rest or 2 days of rest and we set a higher low here, like we set a low here, a higher low there. If we set another higher low, like right here, as long as we hold this low, we set another higher low, I think these can just keep trending up. And Dawkin has earnings coming up, so keep an eye on this one. It's a great, great company. UPS, I do have calls. It's not based on the daily. I don't watch it every day. I just opened up this chart for post-market. The play for March 18th, 240s is based on the weekly chart. I do think the weekly has room to go. We took out a huge level that we've been watching since April of last year. And finally took it out on big volume. We had a little consolidation, so let's see if it breaks up and gets us in the money well before March, which is what I'm expecting. Amazon, nothing really to see here. Completely sideways. We can do Disney now because they have earnings, and then I'll do Shop real quick. Wow, Disney big ripper. I told you guys on the newsletter as well, if Disney showed decent Disney Plus numbers, their parks are reopening, and if they reinstate their dividend, this thing's gonna go crazy. Obviously, it's a very loved stock. Nancy Pelosi's in it. Look where it's gapping up, guys. Way up here, 160. Calls will be in the money, and now we have a gap to fill all the way to 173. Disney looks great. Congratulations if you held. I don't really play earnings very often, so that's why I did not play it personally, but I had a feeling they would rip. I told you guys in the chat. Shopify, same thing as SE, same thing as CRM, same thing as Dawkins. So what we're looking for is a low. Remember, guys, in these downtrends, what you have to watch for is you don't need to catch this low. You never need to catch this low. If people tell you they caught the high and the low, they're usually either lying or it happens 1 out of every 100 times. What you want to do is you want to set the low, you want to set a lower high and then a higher low, and now we have to go and take out this high right here. So if we take out this high right here, which is at about 988.50. So 988.50 goes on Shopify. We could have a big play here as well. It's the same type of play as SE, guys. So we set the low, we set a lower high, higher low, and now if we go and take out 988.50, that shows a higher high, which means bulls are changing the trend back in the favor of the bulls. That's what you have to wait for on Shop. Other than that, obviously you will miss a $60 move if we do go back up there, but that's just a safer way to play it to show the bulls still have control. Uber we can check as well. Uber is, wow, Uber's up like 9%. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, Uber looks great as well. Growth company, yields are up, but right now yields are not mattering. Price action is mattering. So we're up about 8% on Uber. This one could be set up for tomorrow as well. I remember the chart looks decent. Where are we gapping up to? 43 bucks. So we're right at resistance on Uber, guys. So be careful with this chart. Tomorrow, $43 puts us right at this downtrend line that I've have drawn for so long. So tomorrow is very, very important on Uber. If we do not break through 43 and hold, we can come right back down. And I will be watching for put. I will look at their earnings first, and then I'll decide if I want calls or puts on this one tomorrow. But opening right at this resistance is no bueno. We have to see how it acts there first. Thank you guys for attending. I hope you guys had a great day. I know we've been crushing everything at MSL. Don't get too greedy, guys. Keep your position sizing the same. And let's continue to crush the market. I'll see you guys tomorrow.